It's been 12 years then since you first started playing international cricket. So, and I'm not quite sure it's time to look back just yet. Because you're still playing 50 overs cricket, you're still playing 20 overs cricket. But how much do you see yourself playing for Australia? You set yourself a time, or you're just going to listen to your body?
Well, to be perfectly honest, 9-10 months ago when I was hoping to get back in the World Cup side, I told myself, and I said, I think publicly once, which once you say it publicly, it's out there, isn't it?
It's everywhere.
I said that if we were to win the World Cup, and if I'm lucky enough to be in the World Cup squad, I might just walk away from it, and I might be happy, because that was my dream, was to win a World Cup again. But we didn't win the World Cup, so I haven't achieved that goal. I'd like to think that potentially, I'm saying again on record, so this might kill me.
On record, guys, here it's coming, here it is.
I would like to play this Australian summer for Australia, back at home, and just see what happens. So
just the 50 overs though?
50 overs,
You're very clear you're not going to play. I know you've announced it, but you're very clear that you're not going back to the red ball and the white clothes.
No, I'm not going to hold a red ball again in a cricket match. Only if it's for charity.
Yeah.
But no, I'm so happy and content with what I've done with Test cricket. Yeah. My time's gone, and it's time for the young guys, the James Pattersons, to come through at 21 to learn his trade as well. So I still want to put a bit back into 50 over cricket and still be competitive. Look, if I can't bowl fast, if I'm not needed in the cricket team because I'm not good enough, well then I'm happy to walk away.
Do you see yourself as a 135k bowler, moving it both ways, bowling a 3/4 length?
No, that doesn't excite me.
No.
It's like...
but there's people who do that for a living.
It's like playing a bass with 3 strings. You know, you're like one short. It doesn't excite me. Like I don't want to. If I can't bowl at 145, 150k, I'll quit.
But there's bowlers who do that for a living, and some people who do that mighty well for a living.
Yeah, but they're different style of bowlers, and I probably can't do that. I'm not capable of swinging the ball both ways and nicking the batsman off. I'm a different style bowler, so. No, if I'm bowling 130 Ks, maybe that's in 10 years' time or 15 years' time, playing third grade cricket with my son maybe, starting out. Who knows?
Are there encounters you remember more fondly than others?
Yeah, there are a few.
Yeah.
Like playing against Brian Lara in Trinidad, where he got his 100. I bowled a spell there when he was in the 90s for about, I think I bowled an hour and a half straight. And yeah, I kept him on 90 odd for just over an hour, and that was...
Which isn't your style. You'd have thought that either he'd hit you for a couple of boundaries or you'd get him out.
Yeah, but there was that intense... The crowd were going absolutely nuts. They were going crazy. But it was like tunnel vision, and it's weird. There's times... It happens when you're playing at Sachin Tendulkar. You're so engrossed in what's happening, or you're so focused on the job at hand that it's like you're looking through a tunnel. And all you could see as a batsman, you can't hear the crowd, you don't know what your teammates are doing around the field. When you've got that red ball in your hand, it's game on. And that happened, and it's so weird, but it doesn't happen all that often.
So what you're telling me is what batsmen talk about sometimes. Batsmen say we get into a zone, and we're in a different world, don't hear anything, we're just in a zone. Fast bowlers get into a zone too?
You do, definitely. And as I mentioned about the crowd, if I'm bowling well, you don't hear the crowd until you get like a wicket. If you're bowling badly, you're walking back to your mark and you hear every little snigger. You hear, "You're rubbish, Lee," or, you know, he's going to smack you for another 4.
Does that incite you, or does that...
Depends what type of day you're having. It can get on your nerves, or it can fire you up and inspire you to go out there and knock your stumps over.
At what point does a bowler decide what ball he's going to bowl? When did you? Right at the top of your mark? Are you walking back to the top of your mark, or 2 balls earlier? I'm
glad you asked that question, because Glenn McGrath always taught me, and I would be walking back, top of the mark, think, okay, bouncer, running bowler bouncer, get back, went for 4, think, oh, went for 4, walk back, top of the mark, Yorker. But Glenn taught me that he had his whole over planned out as he's given the umpire his cap. So I thought, well, you had every single ball worked out. He said, yep, before he went and bowled his over, he knew that he'd bowl maybe 4 good lengths, the 5th ball might be a good length, the 6th ball might be one a bit wider outside off stump. He'd planned and visualised his whole over prior to giving the umpire his cap, and I thought that was amazing. But that just comes from experience. So later on in my Test career, I was setting up the over, not like 2020 cricket where you got to slap each ball. I was setting up the whole over, and it might take 4 or 5 overs of your spell to bowl that 1 ball. Whereas when I first started, that one ball was every single over. It's just patience.
Were there batsmen that you said, here he comes against me? Because I know batsmen have that thing about certain bowlers.
Yeah.
You could play all the best bowlers in the world, and there could be two guys there, and you said, no, I don't want to play him. The bogey bowlers for me.
Yeah.
Do bowlers have bogey batsmen? You just
Definitely.
think, I can't get this guy out.
Do you know who mine was?
Yeah?
I think he's a wonderful guy, but every time he walked at the bat, I thought, oh, here we go again. V.V.S Laxman. Laxman had the ability to play against Australia and get 100 every single time. We play him in Sydney, he get 100. We play him in Adelaide, he gets 100. We play him over here, he gets 100. He had this thing where every single time he played against Australia, he stepped up and got 100. Steve Waugh one day said publicly, he said something along the lines of, if you get Sachin Tendulkar out, brilliant, you've done so well. If you get V.V.S Laxman out, it's a miracle.
Is that the regard he's held in Australia?
Yeah, he's a class player because he's so technically correct. You know, him and Lar and Tendulkar, it's tough to get him out.
You know, I've known V.V.S closely over the years. We come from the same city as well, but I've never heard anyone putting V.V.S Laxman and Brian Lara, and he'd be overjoyed to hear that someone's put those two names alongside each other.
Definitely, 100%. And he's like, you'd bowl, for example, to V.V.S Laxman, you'd bowl a ball on off stump, and he'd hit you to mid-off. You'd bowl the exact same ball to off stump, he'd hit you through cover. You bowl the same ball on off stump, and he'd put you through mid-wicket behind the umpire, or flick you down a fine leg. And you're going, well, I'm bowling the exact same ball. He's played 4 or 5 different shots. I mean, that's pretty classy.
And you played against him from when you were under 19, so
I did, yeah.
It's sort of there for a while.
I remember I asked him one day. I was bowling him at the Wacker, and was bowling pretty quick, and he was playing and missing, jumping around. And I asked him, VVS. I said, does that stand for very, very scared?
Yeah.
And I think he went on and got a 50 or a 60, so it didn't work.
So you weren't really calling him names, you were just having a little bit of banter.
Yeah, I was trying to work out what his name stood for.
Have you figured it out now?
Oh, it's too hard to pronounce, yeah.
That's all right. So that's an interesting one. But have there been days when you didn't want to bowl? I remember meeting you in a hotel lobby in Dhaka once, and you said, mate, I'm bowling on fumes. You said, I've just got nothing left in the tank, I'm bowling on fumes. Has there been a day when you didn't want to play cricket?
Oh, definitely. There's been days where you look out and you see it's overcast. I hope the rain comes today, because your body is it's so worn out, and you've been 9 months on the road. My ankle potentially is broken. I've got a broken bone in my foot. I need surgery. My arm's killing me. My back's killing me. And you think, I'm not sure if I can do this today. But somehow you get yourself up, you get to the ground, you have your ice bath, you get your clothes on, you put that baggy green cap on. Doesn't matter how you feel. Bang, you're ready to go.